Now, one of the things that I talk about regularly on this channel is the importance of investing. And when it comes to investing, you also have to be aware of the economic trends and what is really going on in the background. Now, as much as most of this information isn't publicly available to the extent that they try to keep some of this information, well, you can sometimes gather a lot of knowledge and use that knowledge to your advantage. And that is really what I'll be sharing with you in this video. Well, the stock market hasn't been doing well in the past couple of weeks. And when I pull up this chart here, this is the S&P 500, and you can see in the past one day it's only up 0.25%. In 5 days it is down 2.81%, and in 1 month it's down 1.49%. And this is really across the board with NASDAQ, with the Russell and other indexes as well, and the Dow Jones are, of course. As you can see, this is the NASDAQ. It is down around 2.1%. I'll call it that. Of course, over 6 months, we'll still have a very green, solid year, at least past 6 months. And even if I go year to date, it's still up to 16%. So the thing here that I want to point out to you is that you have to understand that a lot of this that we are seeing in the past couple of weeks is due to a couple of things, and I have it in my notes here. The first one is the AI valuations. There's this understanding and worry that financial institutions, especially the big, when I say big, wealthy investors, do have about the AI valuations. And the understanding is that the AI race isn't really something worth pouring more money into. And is it really worth pouring more into all of this that they are doing? I mean, they're spending tons of money, they are investing more, they're coming up with new AI models, and all of this is really adding up in terms of cost. And is it really worth what is being pushed? I mean, the hype that is out there on AI, is it really worth it? And are we going to get our money back? And that is a valid question that any investor would ask. Well, in line with all of that, one of the big tech companies, in this case NVDA, will be reporting earnings today. And that information will really, move the market. As we can see, the market has been quite down in the past couple of days. Over 6 months, we're still in the green. But with NVIDIA stock, NVIDIA earnings coming out this evening at the recording of this video, we have some things to think about. The first one is what is likely going to happen based on the information they come up with. The thing is, NVIDIA has done well so often that it's almost like they're so used to NVIDIA beating earnings. And then the Wall Street is often looking for something to hold on to, and the stock will sell off. This has happened almost every earnings that NVIDIA released. They will beat earnings and yet the stock will still be down. They will beat earnings and yet the stock will still be down. So the question is this going to be different, or will NVIDIA stock price go higher, let's say tomorrow or after earnings today? Here's something that I want you to be careful about. The thing about earnings is that I don't try to predict prices. I don't try to say, oh, well, I believe it's going to go to 200. I believe it's going to go to whatever, right? I don't do that. But one thing I want to do is that, does the business itself make sense? How are they performing business-wise? And that is really the question that I want you to ask yourself. In any investment you want to put your money into, what is the business itself, and is it doing well? Forget about what the temporary stock price is. As you can see, this stock price will move down, will move up throughout the course of the day. The goal isn't to be focused on what the stock price is at this time, because this is determined by so many variables, so many. We have the economy itself. We have a speech that is being made by the CEO, and all of a sudden they pick one word or one adverb or one statement, a phrase, and they twist it and turn it, and of course the stock sells off. Or the president comes out tomorrow and says something, and guess what? The stock sells off. Or the CPI data gets released, if we're ever going to get that soon. Hopefully we do. The government is back open now, thank God. and then the stock sells off. So I don't truly worry about this number, right? In as much as it is important, because when you try to buy any stock right now, this is what you would pay, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But the point here is, when it comes to long-term investing strategy, your goal isn't to really watch this closely. Now, it is important to look for opportunities though. One thing I'll say is opportunities will only come once in a while. If I go year to date, right? Or let's do 1 year. You see, these prices here were great opportunities. 94, 98, even down here, 182. It's not bad because you're not buying at the top prices, right? If I go 5 years, this is definitely a massive opportunity where it dropped to around 94, 98 in the past, this was in March, April 2025, Liberation Day announcement, as we know, the president calls it anyway. The stock sold off. So if you had bought it, these were great opportunities because you'd have doubled your money now, right? But the point here is we have these earnings coming out, and this is likely going to impact the stock price tomorrow. That is something that you need to watch out for. So the question is, are you ready to take advantage of this opportunity if it comes up? It is likely going to go down. In my opinion, it has done that so many times. They release earnings, it drops. They release earnings, it drops. So I wouldn't be surprised if this stock falls down to really low high 170s, right? Or mid 170 range, 175, 178, somewhere there. I won't be surprised if it comes that low. And of course, if it comes to that range, I am definitely buying. Now, the great thing about buying this type of shares is that you don't, or stocks, particularly NVDA, is that your goal isn't to worry about making money just right now, because we are not trying to hold this and say, well, we want to make $2 tomorrow. My intention for something like this is when I buy it, I want to hold it for as long as I can. And what do I mean by that? I'm only going to sell only to rebalance the portfolio that I own. And I want you to think about that yourself. Why do you want to sell a stock? A lot of times, maybe the stock runs up to $200 and something like it did somewhere here, right? And the next thing is, oh, you want to sell. But the problem is that when you sell, when do you get back in, right? That is often a question that a lot of people cannot answer. And let me pull this up right here, right? Let's say you sold when it was 200 and what was it here? 187, somewhere there, right? And let me go back right there. 190 here, right? Let's say you sold and you didn't have a plan to get back in, hoping that, well, it's gotten high, let me sell. Well, the thing is that a lot of times people would sell and then they are looking for the bottom. This was a good bottom. This was on November 19th and that was today, all right? Well, let's say this was what? 179. That was a good bottom, but would you have bought into it again at that point, or would you be waiting? So I don't try to time in, because that timing, sometimes you get it wrong. You never catch the topmost point, and sometimes you never catch the bottom, right? So you always have to realize that the goal is to reinvest regularly, only sell to rebalance. Does that make sense? Reinvest regularly. So that means, let's say you buy a few shares or fractional shares, by the way, which you can do with Robinhood. If you haven't, use the link below, open an account, deposit 10, 20 bucks, I don't know how much you have, and you will get a free stock as well, right? But the thing is here, you can buy $10 worth, $5 worth. I do that automatically, where I buy $10, $15, $25 automatically, maybe every week. And sometimes if I run out of money in that account, it would skip, and that's fine. But once I put money back into it, it starts to invest that money. And that is what you want to do. That is the strategy you want to, the approach you want to take, because at the end of the day, you want this thing to be investing for you over the course of years, and only sell to rebalance. So what do I mean by rebalancing? All right. If you think about a portfolio that has 80% NVIDIA and 20%, let's say, Tesla. Of course, that is crazy because it's going to be very volatile. Both companies can be volatile. But that means that if your NVIDIA goes up in value, right, by, let's say 10%, okay, or let's say goes up another 10%. That means, and your Tesla stayed the same. Now you may have a portfolio that is, let's say, 85% or 90%, and your Tesla goes down, right? You now have NVDA that is now 90%, and let's say your Tesla has now gone down 10%. Now your goal should be to sell the 10% over what you had initially planned for in your NVDA, right? So you sell 10% of it to buy 10% more of Tesla. So that way you're selling high and buying low, so that over time, when Tesla comes back up again, guess what? You bought low and it should go up in value. And let's say your Tesla goes up more in value to, like, let's say 30%. You can sell your Tesla, 10% of it, to rebalance it back to 20% of your total portfolio, and then buy the NVIDIA that is probably lower. The best analogy for this is you have $1,000 to invest. You put $1,000 in two companies. Let's say you put 50%, right? So you do $500 in one, $500 in the other one. If one goes up to $600, it is worth, the idea is to sell $100 worth of the company that has gone up and buy the one that has gone lower, so that you rebalance to make it 50-50 again. That is the approach I take. And I hope that you will do the same, because companies like this will definitely do well over the course of years. They have the numbers, they have good products, and as long as they continue to do that, they will survive and they will thrive. And as long as they continue to innovate, they will survive and they will thrive. And that is really what you should take away from this video. Now, I'm going to add one more thing: Bitcoin. And I think it is worth mentioning that Bitcoin is something that, to a lot of people, too volatile, scary, you lose your money, it's never going to work out well. And sometimes, you worry, what's the purpose of Bitcoin in your portfolio, because they don't pay it doesn't pay dividends, right? Although you could stake it, depending, but that's the topic for another day. But the thing here is, Bitcoin is also presenting a massive opportunity if you are the type of person who likes something like this. Bitcoin is selling for about 88,000 now, and it's been falling over the course of let's do 3 months here, right? As you can see, massive downstepping chart here. Like it tries to recover and then it comes down, tries to recover and it comes down, tries to recover and it comes down, and that's what it's been doing for the past couple of months. A good price point that they were initially worried about was 110,000, which is right there, somewhere there, was 110,000. Then they worried it wouldn't go below 100,000, right? And it fell. Then, of course, in the next point was 90,000, and we are right there. So it's been falling. Should you buy Bitcoin? It's a question that you have to think about, right? I personally, I'm not really changing my strategy with Bitcoin. The approach I'm taking with this is that as long as I do not have too much invested in Bitcoin, and in as much as there's so many predictions about Bitcoin going to 150,000, going to 250,000, some even have 1.2 million. I think it's Cathy Wood that actually mentioned that. I am not trying to predict and chase those, right? I will continue to invest in my stocks, but I will have a percentage and have an exposure to Bitcoin. So how do you get an exposure? Well, either by buying through Coinbase, either by buying through Coinbase or through Robinhood. Although, you're not really buying the Bitcoin itself, but it helps to get exposure to this type of asset as well. The key thing is that you have to have a long-term view of all these things, whether it's in the stock, whether it's investing in stocks, whether it's investing in Bitcoin. You have to have a long-term view. Otherwise, you will get emotionally driven by the movement. If it goes up, you're happy. If it goes down, you're sad. And that's not a good thing to do. You have to have a very different mindset, which is to understand that opportunities will come and there will be times that you will be tested. And the understanding is to know why you've put your money into it. If I understand that my purpose of investing in Bitcoin is not for me to wake up tomorrow morning and get rich quick and have a lot of money, then I will be okay to know that this is a long-term game. I'm buying this opportunity and I'm going to hold for some time. Just wanted to share this with you. If you found value in this one, please don't forget to drop a like on it. I'll see you in a future one.